Joining me on the line as he does every Friday on the show, well, except for last week. Ladies and gentlemen, Mike Reyes is on the line. What's going on, Mike?
Hey, you needed a vacation, okay, man?
It was a good time. It really was, and we did go see Free Guy before we came back and picked up the kid.
I'm glad, but I'm still kind of nervous. Tell me, Mr. B-sox, what did you think of Free Guy?
Real quick, Mike Reyes from Cinemablend.com joining me on the line. You can find out more about him at the website, kggo.com. We'll have all of your information up on the site. Mr. Controversy 83. Free Guy, I really liked Free Guy. I did.
I was really hoping you did. I don't think Free Guy is a hard sell, to be honest. I think it really is just a movie that wants to please a lot of people, and just in the best way possible, not in the, oh my God, we have to, not in a carefully calculated studio want a hit way, but in sort of a, you can tell everybody had fun making that movie.
I'm going to say, I thought everybody, like you said, everybody seemed like they were having a great time making the movie. Ryan Reynolds was funny in the Ryan Reynolds sort of way. The kid from Stranger Things, I like seeing him.
Yeah, Joe Keery.
Yeah, he was really good, and I really liked him.
Okay, so if you like him, go to Hulu and watch the movie Spree.
Okay.
He is amazing in this movie, and I think we talked about it when it came out. It's this kid who Uber drives and wants to be a YouTube sensation. And he starts going off the rails.
Oh, we talked about this, didn't we?
Yes, and it is. I still highly recommend it because I am a big Joe Keery fan, and of course I love him on Stranger Things. Steve Harrington forever.
Okay, yeah. No, overall, like we saw in the last week, we saw Suicide Squad, and then we saw Free Guy in the theater. And what was really funny about Free Guy, real quick, because I want to say something about Suicide Squad. We got back into town and we went to like a 1:00 showing on a Friday, and the only other people in the theater were like, it was seriously like it was like grandma and her grandson. There was like 3 sets of this. It was so damn funny. But no, I mean, overall, like it was just a really good movie. It was a really good story. It's like I said, it's the best video game movie ever made, and I really enjoyed it. I think it was great, and I love the cameos. I love the Chris Evans cameo in it.
That whole stretch in the third act was such a damn ride, because I remember I got to see this way back in, I think they showed it to us as early as May.
Yeah,
there was a handful of critics, a handful of people that's like, okay, we're inviting you to the round table. You want to go see Free Guy in May, but you just can't really talk about it until, the embargo lifts. So for I've been living with this movie Secrets for a good couple of months, on top of doing the set visit back in 2019 and sitting on that for a while. So it's just been really cool to finally talk about all this stuff. And then, of course, we had no idea about the cameos on set.
Oh.
So going to see the movie and like hearing all the voices, it's like, wait. I know that person.
Yeah.
And then they dropped the hammer in the third act. Chris Evans was filming that Apple show defending Jacob in Boston.
Oh, really?
The whole story about that was Sean Levy and Ryan Reynolds were kind of reworking some stuff in the script, and they're like, look, we need to go hard in the third act. Like, I got to talk to Sean Levy about this during the junket for the film. And they're like, look, we have to go hard in the third act. We have to do something like really big. So they sent an email to Disney, and they're like, can we use Star Wars or the Cap Shield or the Hulk Fist? And then Disney was like, yes. And they're like, yes to which one? And they're like, yes to all. So then after they got that, it was like, okay, Ryan Reynolds texted Chris Evans because he was in Boston filming that show at the time. He's like, would you mind swinging by like 10 minutes, get in, get out? And literally that's what it was. He drove to the set. They filmed them in about 5. Hugged it out, and then they were done.
That's awesome. The dude parts, that made me laugh so much. When he came on and he goes, catchphrase. I started laughing and I couldn't stop. It was hilarious. But anyways, okay, so Free Guy was awesome. Real quick, just because we saw Suicide Squad, I thought Suicide Squad was amazing for 2 of the 3 acts of that movie.
Am I to assume Act 2 and 3?
Yes. Amazing film. Easily.
Yeah.
Easily my favorite DC movie. The first two acts of that movie are fantastic. The third act, it's not a bad third act. It's just not My problem with the Suicide Squad movie, and I kind of realized it in this one, I'm like, they're bad guys. Why are they never bad guys in this? Other than, Peacemaker. I want to see one of these movies where we don't turn them into heroes at the end. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but I didn't have a problem with the third act. I mean, I think the movie overall was a lot of fun, but I don't know. Like
the third act is just the part that was weird to me. And you know what part legit grossed me out was when she went into the eye.
That grossed you out?
Yeah, I don't know why, but that was like really, really gross to me. And it was just...
that's nothing compared to like people getting like Peter Capaldi getting splattered against safety glass.
I don't know why, but I was just like, oh, that poor creature. It's got something in its eyes. So anyways, Mike Reyes from Cinemablend.com joining me on the line, talk about movies. Okay, so this week, let's jump into it. The big one is the Hugh Jackman movie this week, right?
Yes, Reminiscence.
Which basically, you're going to think this is bad, but it kind of reminds me of like a poor man's like, what was the one with Leonardo DiCaprio, the dream one?
Inception.
Yeah, that's kind of what, I don't know why I get an Inception vibe from it.
You're not crazy for thinking that, because when I first saw the trailers, I kind of got an Inception vibe off of the visuals. And the visuals definitely kind of have that because, these buildings with huge like lakes of water around them. I think that's kind of the thing, because that movie was sold very much on that imagery.
Yeah.
Funny thing is, Reminiscence is written and directed by Lisa Joy, who's a co-creator of Westworld. And the movie's basically, Hugh Jackman is this guy who is an expert of this technology where you can dive into people's memories. And the future, it's set in future Miami where like global warming has risen the tides and people the future is just so screwed up that people like to go back to their pleasant memories from the past to sort of relieve the tension.
Now it sounds like Minority Report, where he puts in he's got like the 3D projector.
It kind of does look like a bit like Minority Report. I will give you that too. Because the funny thing is, this movie kind of plays, it almost feels like this is like the other side of the coin to Inception. It feels like it's a great movie to bookend Inception with.
Okay.
Which is dancing on the fact that I just really liked this movie.
Okay.
Lisa Joy kind of made a modern film, a neo-noir. It's almost like a film noir sort of science fiction movie where Hugh Jackman's looking into this mystery because a woman that he's fallen in love with, played by Rebecca Ferguson, who he worked with in The Greatest Showman, she disappears. Out of the blue, one day she disappears. He doesn't know why. He's trying to find out why. And it's just one of those old-fashioned mysteries that, they're investigating it through people's memories and all this other stuff.
All right.
And
no,
it's
that sounds
visually stunning. It's great.
You said Westworld, and I'm like, my interest for this tanked.
Wow.
Okay. Westworld, the first season was great, and after that, I think it's gotten worse every year.
Anyway,
I know this is one that we don't agree on or see eye to eye on at all. You said that, I'm like, I don't care about this movie anymore.
Anyway, Reminiscence is good, and they'll be in theaters and on HBO Max. I don't know if they're doing the same thing as Suicide Squad, where it starts at 7 tonight.
Okay.
But it'll be on HBO Max this weekend as well for the first 30 days.
I'll give it. It looks interesting, but it looks like an Inception or an Interstellar, something like that, where it's like you're gonna have to work for the end of this movie.
Actually, no. It's really the great thing about Reminiscence is it has a mystery, but it does seed all of the clues properly to the point where they go over all of it at the end, and it makes a lot of sense.
All right,
like
cool.
it's not as Nolan-y.
Okay, I'm not going to have an epiphany at the end.
You will, but it's not like an out of. It's not like a. Okay.
I need to change everything about my life because of Interstellar.
Well, I mean, there is the whole thing about global warming that kind of comes up in this movie, but
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Mike Reyes from Cinemablend.com joining me on the line. All right, the next one up is the Protégé, and this has a really interesting cast I'm looking at right now.
Yeah, got Maggie Q, who's just, action superstar. She's done like Mission Impossible 3, Live Free or Die Hard. You've got Samuel L. Jackson, and then you've got Michael Keaton, who is having so much fun in this with Maggie Q. So the basic story is Maggie Q's character, Anna, was rescued as a kid by Samuel L. Jackson.
Okay.
And like he rescues her in Vietnam in like the 90s, and she basically becomes she is literally his protege.
Okay.
Like he teaches her the art of contract killing, and they run a business together. Out of nowhere, he's killed, and she swears vengeance against whoever did it. And one of the parties connected to that killing is a man named Rembrandt, played by Michael Keaton. If there is anything I'm going to recommend this movie to you for, besides the fact that there's some pretty cool action sequences, one where Maggie Q literally pulls a John McClane, holding onto a fire hose and jumps into a lobby of a building, which she did that stunt, and she did it 10 times.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, there's another one I did interviews for, because not only did I get to talk to Maggie Q and Michael Keaton, I got to talk to Martin Campbell.
Oh,
and
nice.
This is the man who not only directed The Protégé, but directed GoldenEye and Casino Royale.
There's the James Bond connection.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, I talked to Maggie Q. Well, I'll tell you this story after I talk about the movie. So anyway, Maggie Q and Michael Keaton are the other reason I would suggest this movie to you, because their chemistry is so on point, and the back and forth between them in both conversation and fight sequences is just so on par, and they're having so much fun with it.
Okay.
The story itself is okay. Like the movie's okay. If it's in theaters, if you're a huge action fan, or you got to be a huge fan of anyone in the film, I would say, it's a good matinee.
Okay.
The story's a little thin, but it was fun.
All right, cool.
But
what was your other story?
Maggie Q. So Maggie Q was in Mission Impossible 3. I was curious if they ever wanted to bring her character back. So she was like, they tried to bring me back twice, but I couldn't do it because she was under contractual obligation to a couple other shows. So then, while she's telling me that story, she's like, "You remember how Pierce Brosnan was on that show and he couldn't do James Bond?" And then, at that moment, I was like, "Okay, now I know you're speaking my language." And this interview it was already a cool interview. This just became even cooler. And also, I got the most Marvel answer out of Michael Keaton when I asked him about Morbius.
What'd he say?
Because one of my editors is like, "Okay, I really want you to ask him about this, because, why not?" Because, we see him pop up at the end of the Morbius trailer. It's like, what's going on here? And then I was like, "So are you still Adrian Toomes? Are you a multiverse or a Vulture variant? What's going on?" He's like, "Oh boy, you're going to have to hold off on that answer. That's an answer to come."
Huh. I just saw, I forget where I read it, but they were like, they were talking about the multiverse and Marvel, and somebody said, yeah, Michael Keaton doesn't even understand how the multiverse works with what he's doing with Spider-Man to Morbius and, all this other stuff.
Yeah, he basically said that they were explaining stuff to him, and he's like, "They may as well have been explaining quantum physics to me." And they're like, "You don't understand a word of what we just said, did you?" He's like, "No, but I'm still going with it, and I'm still gonna get at it."
That's awesome.
And he is so cool to talk to. Like, Michael Keaton is most certainly the Michael Keaton you want to talk to.
That's awesome. Mike Reyes from Cinemablend.com joining me. All right, those are the two movies you saw. There's a couple that are coming out that could be big, but we haven't seen them yet. Nighthouse and what was the other one? Annette?
Annette. Yes. Annette is
that's Adam Driver, right?
Yeah, Adam Driver. And speaking of Inception, Marion Cotillard, Leonardo DiCaprio's wife from Inception.
Oh, of course.
That one is supposed to be bonkers. I have friends at work that have seen it, and they're like, "So, have you seen it yet? Because I need to talk to you about this." And I told them, "Look, I have the link, but I haven't been able to watch it yet because other things came up." So yeah, I'm watching it as soon as I can, though, because I do not want any of this spoiled for me. And plus, after seeing the Sparks Brothers this year, I'm a big fan of their offbeat sensibility. And now that they've finally been able to make a movie with someone, I can't wait to see how that translates.
The other one is Nighthouse. This is something that came out in Sundance a year or two ago. Another horror movie. Disturbing visions of a presence in the house. Call back to her. A ghostly nature. Or something, I don't know.
Ooh. You had me there.
Reeling from an unexpected death of her husband, Beth, played by Rebecca Hall. Is that the Rebecca Hall that made that one song? It's Friday, or whatever it was.
No, that's which Rebecca? That's not Rebecca Hall. That's Rebecca Black.
Oh, okay.
I'll take offbeat pop for 500.
Oh, yeah. Boy, don't get into the Jeopardy stuff right now. That's a whole other
just hire LeVar Burton. Okay. Hire
Rebecca
LeVar Burton.
Rebecca Hall's from Iron Man 3.
Yes, and Godzilla vs. Kong, which you didn't give a about.
No, I didn't.
See, folks, this is when you know we're friends, because I mentioned that for the laugh as opposed to, oh, you didn't like it. It's like, I just mentioned it because I know we're going to laugh about it.
No, I really didn't care about that movie at all.
Whereas I had so much damn fun with it.
It's not that I didn't have fun. It's just, whatever. We've had this conversation. Okay.
Kaijus are not your thing.
No.
Simple.
Okay, so Nighthouse, good, bad, and different. What's going on?
I'm hearing good things,
okay.
And I'm excited to watch it myself because those trailers did look pretty creepy.
All right.
And I like small, affecting, creepy sort of movies like this. So
okay.
I'm ready.
All right, cool. Mike Reyes from Cinemablend.com joining me on the line. That kind of takes care of the movies. Just real quick, because we're running kind of long in the tooth here. What movie news kind of came out? Anything?
That's a good question, because I've been on vacation, and I really haven't... I know we lost Sonny Chiba to a martial art legend. The man was more recently seen in Quentin Tarantino's Kill Bill movies, and he had passed away due to complications from COVID.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah, passed away at 82.
Oh, okay. Well, that's
and
sad.
He was in Tokyo Drift.
Was he really?
Yeah, I think he was one of the Yakuza in Tokyo Drift. But a lot of people will remember him as Hattori Hanzo from the Kill Bill movies.
Oh, he was hot. Okay, I know exactly who you're talking about now.
Yes. In addition to, being a huge, martial arts film star in, the 70s and 80s. But,
yeah, okay.
Unfortunately, we have lost a legend.
That's too bad.
Yeah.
The only other thing I was going to say was the final Eternals trailer came out last night. Or this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or it would have been
happen.
Wednesday night. So.
I'm still...
Yeah, exactly. I'm kind of there. I will say this. Have you watched the What If stuff yet?
I have not started What If yet.
What If is not bad. I mean, the second episode is bonkers, but it's interesting.
Did you hear what almost happened in What If?
I don't know how to take that because it's already What If.
But no, this is something that was so what if it has not even if. There is no what about it.
Oh, okay.
So the showrunners, I forget who exactly it was, but the showrunners basically said in an interview recently, they wanted the Rocketeer to cross over with Captain America, and Kevin Feige's like, no. And I am now going to go on record as saying that Kevin Feige has officially, personally insulted me, and I will be taking him to court for these slanderous remarks. Because how dare you, sir?
I need you to... You bring up the What If stuff, and I will say my favorite thing out of it so far, there's a meme floating around of Peggy Carter and Steve Rogers, and it is my favorite meme, and I don't want to ruin it for you because you haven't seen it, but it was so damn funny.
So is it something that I should look at after I've seen the episode?
It's the without getting too graphic, there's the porno meme. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's a huge Peggy Carter picking up a really tiny Steve Rogers. I'm just gonna shut up. I'll tell you off air.
Yeah, the joys of radio.
I know, right? All right, we're gonna end it there. Mike Reyes from Cinemablend.com joining me on the line. We'll have all his links over at the website. Mike, have a good rest of your vacation.
You as well, man. I'll talk to you next week.